3, United Action Towards the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. The DPRK, Mr. Chairman, rejects the draft resolution sponsored by Japan for the following reasons. First, it contains elements that do not correctly reflect the nuclear issue on the Korean Peninsula. The uranium enrichment and the light water reactor construction in the DPRK are intended for peaceful purposes, namely the generation of electric power. The access to nuclear energy is granted to all states. Many countries enjoy the benefit of it. Some of them develop indigenous nuclear fuel cycle and set up self-supporting nuclear power industry. The draft resolution has not voiced concerns over peaceful nuclear activities of other states. It only expressed concerns in their strongest terms about a single country, which I doubt this is followed purely from goodwill. The draft resolution also says the DPRK cannot have the status of a NWS under NPT. The DPRK is non-party and not bound by NPT. The DPRK withdrew from NPT and manufactured nuclear weapons for the purpose of deterring the United States attack and defending its sovereignty because the U.S. designated the DPRK as a target of preemptive nuclear attack. Notwithstanding, the United States is trying to make the public convinced that the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is precisely the DPRK's dismantlement of nuclear program, while making sophism that the restart of the nuclear facilities in Yongbyon are a violation of international obligation and commitments. If it is true, this is aimed to cover up its crimes and shift the responsibility onto the DPRK. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, Japan is a country that has no qualification or reputation to talk about elimination of nuclear weapons. Japanese people are the first civilians ever to suffer the catastrophic consequences due to A-bombs dropped by the United States of America. But nowadays, in return for its active support for the U.S. hostile policy toward the DPRK, Japan has emerged as dangerous war and aggression forces. However, their three non-nuclear principles of Japan are just a deception. Every year, the new U.S. nuclear aircraft carriers and submarines freely go in and out of territorial waters of Japan. Plutonium is piled up in excess, and political figures raise their voices calling for nuclear weaponization of Japan. Mr. Chairman, the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is the invariable aim of policy of DPRK's government, which does not mean the unilateral nuclear dismantlement on the part of the DPRK side. This is the process of making the peninsula a nuclear-free zone on the basis of completely removing the substantial nuclear threats posed to the peninsula from outside on the principle of simultaneous actions. Mr. Chairman, action for actions remains a basic principle for finding a solution to the nuclear issue on the peninsula, and the DPRK will therefore not unilaterally move first. As of it, the DPRK delegation regards the draft resolution tabled by Japan is full of prejudice, distortion, and hypocrisy, and would vote against it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to thank the representative of DPRK and give the floor to Nicaragua. You have the floor, sir.